Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, like I always say, we got a bunch of sugar honey iced tea to talk about. But first, I want to let you guys know that we have an interview, exclusive interview with Jorge Ventura that we did. You stick around. You do not want to miss it. Exclusive footage. It was probably one of the best interviews that I've done. We're going to give you a little bit of insight on the Tavion Wilder. I think, what's his name? Deontay Wilder. I want to say Tavion Clowney or Davion Clowney. I don't know why these people name their kids this stuff. Anyway, Wilder, we're going to talk about LeSean McCoy because I don't know why they still pushing racism. But before we get to any of this crazy stuff, and happy Friday to y'all, we got to talk about Savannah Guthrie's mother and the new updates that we've just found out. Welcome to the Officer Tatum Show.
If you don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning then, you might as well go on the day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the craziest intro that I've ever done in my life. Literally, the whole intro was rubbish. But I'm human, so I know that's why you guys love me and you follow me. Let's talk about the golf tournament. I cannot wait for the golf tournament to come up. If you are in Arizona, Mesa, Arizona specifically, or you are anywhere in the distance to fly out, you do not want to miss it. February the 25th, it'll be at 7 a.m. to 2, so it doesn't take up your whole day. Come golf with me. It's a great golf tournament. We have fun out there. We smoke cigars. We have a good time. That's what it's all about. And you also can give generously to Save the Storks. We want to raise $75,000 for Save the Storks to help young women in need all across the country, and I know that you guys are going to help do that. We have a few foursomes that you guys can join, which I have my team. We're going to build 2 other teams for free. If you want to pay for your own foursome outside of the 2 ones that we're going to give away, you can do that. I think it's about $700 for a foursome, $200 per player, which is significantly cheaper than what you would have to pay for at Longbow if you decide to do it outside of this event. So come on out. There's going to be food. There's going to be fun. Weather is great in Arizona. And I want to see you there. Come golf with your boy. We're going to have a blast. All right? Now, let's get into some of the stories. Before we get there, I want to make sure you guys follow me on Substack. Follow me on all the social media platforms. The Officer Tatum. And on Substack and on the podcast networks is The Officer Tatum Show. So anywhere you put in The Officer Tatum, you'll find me. Follow me. Share my content with your mama and them. All right, let's get to Savannah Guthrie, her mother, Nancy Guthrie. And I'm going to give you my predictions. They've arrested a person, we alluded to that yesterday, that made up a fake ransom note. Based on the behaviors of the alleged kidnappers, if you ask me, I think, unfortunately, that somebody may have taken her mother's life and they're trying to cover it up. If a person is going to do a ransom, more than likely they would get the ransom note to the person who they want to get the ransom from. It does not seem consistent with kidnapping and ransom is for the people who are going to be the ones to pay out the ransom or the family member which were kidnapped from. They're not communicating with them at all. If you ask me my prediction, I think it was a family member. Something happened at the house. It went south, and now they're trying to find a way to escape or cover up their tracks, which is not going to play out very well for them, in my opinion. Now, I could be completely wrong. This could be a kidnapping. Somebody could have her mother hostage. I just don't think it's likely at this point, but I do think it's someone that they know, all right? Let's get to a couple of clips. Her brother came out to make a statement to appeal to the person that may have gotten their mom in a hostage situation or a ransom situation. And also, the deadline has already passed, so they haven't even had a chance to communicate past the deadline. So this is the brother coming out and making a statement, wrote a clip.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly, We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
And I'll say this too, and I'm not trying to be pessimistic, and I'm it's incredibly sad if Savannah lost her mother, or any of the siblings that she have lost their mother. That's crazy. But you know, someone who's trying to actually successfully get a ransom do not want to make these things public. They don't want it to be public. They don't want a person who has access to communicate with the president of the United States of America, with the greatest military on planet Earth and technology that nobody even knows about except our military. You're not going to get a ransom. You're going to get killed that way. They're going to come find you. They know where you're at. They're going to track your location, and they're going to kill you. So I'm under the impression that more than likely it's not a person seeking a ransom at this point. Let's get to a couple news coverage items. First, Fox News talking about the arrest of the person who made a fake ransom note. Roll it.
Now let's check in with Paul Morrow, who has breaking information on the arrest in connection to the imposter ransom demand. Retired NYPD inspector and attorney and Fox News contributor Paul Morrow. Paul, what do you have?
So, Trace, the FBI has made an arrest relative to somebody who tried to piggyback on this awful event following the video that was made last night by the family. Last name Colella from Hawthorne, California, apparently tried to use a voice-over internet protocol to obfuscate his whereabouts, but it was an account in which he used his own name as the email address. And so all the FBI really had to do to penetrate that was ascertain how the call came in, do a quick subpoena. They got full cooperation. They identified him forthwith. And now he's looking at 2 charges, one of which carries up to 20 years for communicating a threat to kidnap and interstate commerce, and then a second charge that carries 2 years for harassment. Very serious charges and a really heinous crime.
But you think kind of a hoax here, Paul? I mean, we just some idiot just trying to piggyback on this?
100%. In fact, in the charging document itself, it states that this event, in their estimation, has nothing to do with the current ransom situation here in Tucson.
All right, so we have a couple more clips. I want to present them to you. Look like Jesse Waters has something to say, very similar. And I got to say, and not trying to pat myself on the back, but the concerns that Jesse Waters is bringing up in this video is things that I talked about before I've seen this. So I hope that it's all, I hope that it's not true. I'll just put it that way. Roll the clip.
We don't know if we're dealing with a kidnapping, a hoax. We don't know anything. Right now, they're just looking for proof of life. Without proof of life, you have nothing. And they're not going to wire all this money to a Bitcoin account if they don't know she's alive. I don't understand the motive, because if it's about money, okay, why would you go to TMZ? Why would you make it such a huge spectacle? It's almost like the people that allegedly kidnapped this mother wanted it to go national, because, you know, if you were to kidnap somebody that didn't have a famous daughter, who couldn't contact the president of the United States, that couldn't bring the FBI into the scene, you just probably go to an anonymous wealthy family and do it cleanly. The blood indicates, because the blood goes from the house all the way out to the driveway and then stops, maybe the blood stops once you get into the car, that means there was a violent struggle and that she resisted. I hope she didn't pass away after they'd kidnapped her, and we're just praying that she's okay, because that would be so sad. It looks professional, though, because they go in and they disarm the cameras. We don't know even if the person was in the house before, as she was dropped off. That's a possibility as well. The second look, the FBI comes in and sweeps the house again. Now, last night at first we think it's because they missed something in the initial sweep, because they'd cleared the mom's house. But you're just hearing now the FBI, when they come in, they're always going to want to look at it themselves. And then they send the FBI to the sister's house. And there was a little scrutiny placed on the sister, and the husband And we believe they're just there because that might have been the place where they shot this video that was released last night. And it looks like they may have taken the electronics and downloaded the electronics from the sister and the husband, just to make sure everybody is on the same page. Now, the sheriff people are giving a hard time, too. And at first, you're like, why is this guy doing all of these media interviews? And it turns out sheriffs are elected. So this guy's a politician. That's why he's doing so much media. And there's a little frustration because at one point he's like, okay, well, there was forced entry, but there's not forced entry, and then we're not going to say. And then he's like, well, you know, the son-in-law dropped her off. Now is just the family. So it's very confusing. And the fact that he didn't post a patrol car at the residence for days when reporters were going up to the house and contaminating the scene and videotaping the blood splatter, it just seemed like a very amateur move. I hope everything is locked down.
Now, let me give y'all some insight on this because I was a police officer in Tucson, and the sheriff, obviously the Pima County Sheriff's Department was the sheriff county that we partner with on many of these calls. Sheriff Nanos is, we couldn't stand him. He's a Democrat, and he was a loser. I don't know. Maybe he changed because he was voted out. Somebody else came in. Actually, one of my squad mates, his dad, became the sheriff of Pima County, and everybody loved him. But then this guy, Nanos, got back in the office, and nobody liked him, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe things have changed now, but I didn't like him from way back then. He was a loser, in my opinion, as a sheriff. So I do think that there should be scrutiny against him if he's going out and saying something and retracting it and divulging this and retracting it. That's rookie moves, which is, look at his white hair. You could tell he's not a rookie. I used to be a PIO, meaning a spokesperson. I was one of the ones that would come out and help in the press conference, not the major events because I was still an officer, but I would come out and do things like this and be able to disclose or not disclose things that are happening. And we went through training and everything to make that possible. So I don't know how he's making these mistakes without being a complete idiot. All right, there's a little bit of updates from him and others. I want to play it for you so you can have the full spectrum of what's going on. Roll the clip.
Right now, we believe Nancy is still out there. We want her home. Our department, the Sheriff's Department, along with all of our partners at the FBI, have been working around the clock. And we just want her home and find a way to get to the bottom of all of this, just as you do. And we're at that phase now where sometimes we're waiting, right? We're waiting for analysis. We're waiting for lab reports. But even then, when they come back quickly, for example, some DNA, we rushed what we thought was the best target for DNA. We did a rush through and got some of that back. The results were minimal. I think you all know of the blood on the porch. That was one we did. It came back to Nancy. That's what we know. But there's still more items that have been submitted. We just haven't got them back yet. But in the meantime, we're not just sitting on our haunches waiting. We do have a number of leads coming in, and that's why we brought in the FBI for one, but PCRIT as well, to be able to get out there and handle these leads as they come in as quickly and as expeditiously as we can. And every single lead is looked at, every one of them. And so we're gearing up. You probably have some questions about what you've seen in the last couple of days. I'll gladly answer those at that time. But it really is about getting our partners out there.
The part is, what I disagree with him on is that you don't need to tell whose DNA is in the blood on the porch. I don't understand what make this man think that makes sense. You just don't mention that. Because the person that hurt her may have cut themselves or something in the process of assaulting her. And they may be curious of, did I leave blood behind? I got to turn myself in. I'm caught. My blood is definitely with her blood. They're going to find it. Now he goes, it's only her blood. Nothing came of it. And now the suspect knows, okay, at least, all right, no blood. I didn't leave no blood behind. You know, these are things that, you know, of course it's easier for me to say it from sitting here, but I wouldn't have disclosed anything about the blood. You got to leave that stuff out of it. Don't give them no details. Don't give anything away that the suspect could possibly think that you onto him or not onto him. You keep it very bland. You say, we're still doing an investigation. We got a lot of leads in, and leave it at that, man. Because you don't want the suspect to be tipped off enough to go do something rational, right? Or irrational. And then they go and kill her because they're like, I'm caught. When they might not even be caught. So let's go to this next clip of the gentleman speaking about a reward. It's the FBI Phoenix Division agent wrote a clip.
The FBI is now working this case jointly with the Pima County Sheriff's Department. And we're going to start today by announcing a $50,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of Nancy Guthrie and or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance, and this will be the missing persons with the reward that will be going out. The FBI has agents, analysts, and professional staff employees working day and night with our partners at the Sheriff's Department. We have deployed additional intelligence and agents from our Phoenix office. We have brought in our Critical Incident Response Group from Quantico, Virginia. Members from our Cellular Analysis Survey team are here, and they continue to collect and process digital information.
All right, so that's the conclusion of the information that we have thus far. I mean, if things come out, I'll try to put it up on my other social media platforms because we're going to get into the weekend with the show, so we're not going to be able to really talk about it. I want to jump into two other topics. One being this viral clip of Deontay Wilder. I think his name Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder. He was one of the most prolific, successful boxers ever in his weight class. Then he kind of went downhill with Tyson Fury knocking him out, 2 or 3 times, and he never really quite recovered. And I just saw this big Chinese dude knocked him out the other day. Looked like he hit him with a hook, and I think he was going to talk to his family after he got hit with that hook, and then homeboy finished him off. But this viral clip is him discussing how he believed Tyson Fury cheated, and also the thing that caught my attention was the racial component. And we're going to talk about this, and LeSean McCoy did the same thing, and I got to address these two things. Roll the clip.
I can't think about the third one, but the two of them, he definitely cheated. I got proof and evidence of that. When I do my documentary and my movie about it, it's going to be presented. I'm going to bring the peoples and the artifacts and everything I know. Why you think he can't come back to America now? The man cheated. He's the biggest cheater in boxing history. If you look him up, you will see it. And if I'm lying, then please tell him to sue me for defamation of character so I can have the proof. And I want that. I can't wait on it because being a black man with dark skin is harder to believe me than to believe a white man. And then that first fight, the referee, that's white supremacy. What he did, you know what he said? He did what he thought was best for boxing. Now your job is to count his ass out. That's what you're supposed to do. He gave him an extra 15 count. You know what I mean? Everybody know that. So it is what it is. And how I speak from the truth and from the heart and the passion of it. And that's why a lot of people don't want me in this business because I know too much. I know who's stealing from everybody.
You better tell me. Turn the microphones off and tell me, please.
You feel me? I know a lot of stuff in this business. And the thing about it is, you come to realize, like, as you come up in this business and you don't know much, it's fun. It's exciting. You know what I mean?
All
but
right.
when you start knowing
I want to
a lot
jump
of
to
things.
him storming off stage on this same topic. And he pushes the same idea of white supremacy and all that little crazy stuff. But I will say that the guy interviewing him is a dirtbag. I'm going to say it right out. You a dirtbag for doing this to Deontay. Now, Deontay shouldn't have got all weird with it, but you a dirtbag for doing this. When a man is a fighter, and he tell you he don't want to talk about a certain fight, you better respect what he said. There's no need to get a moment out of this. Deontay said he didn't want to talk about it, but he pushed him anyway. Roll the clip.
I wanted to move you on to Tyson Fury. And
I don't want to talk about him.
No, you're going to.
We're here about this.
No, but you're going to.
We're not going to talk about him. We're not going to talk about him at all. Understand that?
No, fair enough.
All right, then. So let's move on. It's all about Derek Chisora. That's it.
I understand that. You've called him a cheat. and it leads me
the biggest in boxing.
That's like a little bit flaky. You lost those fights. And those fights were lost. It's kind of disappointing to me
You can say
about
what you
because
want. I know the truth. I have the facts.
Okay.
Understand that. I risk my life for you's entertainment to see.
No, absolutely.
So why I ain't never lied about none in this business. Why is it so hard to believe a black man than a white man? Understand me? Why is it so hard to believe a black man than a white man?
Why you don't believe it?
Why is it?
First and foremost, it's got nothing to do with color.
No, it does. This whole country got some. This whole world got something to do with race. You think your life has been like mine?
Listen,
come on, you got white privilege, brother.
Oh, don't start.
I ain't never had that.
Don't start my.
I'm a black man with dark skin. Ain't nothing ever been given to me. We done been through so much. So much.
You wanted to move on, right?
Come on, man. Try to give you a vision, a little insight of what we go through as black people, man.
I got it.
You don't get it.
Well, okay.
None of y'all get it.
Where do you want me to go?
Y'all don't get it. That's the problem. You think you get what you don't understand.
Okay.
Why is it so hard? Man, let me get the out of here, bro. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Talking about my peoples and all that. It's hard to believe a black man than a white man. The cheated. Tell him to sue me so I can show the facts early. Because when the documentary and everything, the story come out, I'm going to show everything.
Fantastic.
I'm going to get all the people that know and all the people that's in the inside. He got people that the inside of him that can know. I don't about that. I said we didn't want to bring him up in the first place. It ain't got shit to do with him.
Fair enough.
The you talking about?
Yeah, man, you, man. I'm out too.
What happened there wasn't right.
He told you don't bring it up. But you
Come on.
He told not to bring it up. But I just want to show a quick clip because some people think that Deontay Wilder is a nut job for saying this. I'm not a boxing expert, but this is kind of one of those clips that have been going viral for anybody that's seen it, of that weird punch. Now, let's play that punch real quick of where Deontay Wilder is probably talking about. It's probably a little more than that. But this is kind of what Deontay was talking about. You know, that loose glove is kind of weird, right? I mean, it looked like he broke his wrist with that punch. And so Deontay and them, or some people are saying that he had a weight in the glove. That's why the glove swung like that. I'm not a boxer, bro. His wrist could have been weak. Maybe he wasn't trying to punch. He was just trying to knock his guard down so he could hit him with that right. I'm not really sure which one, but that's what Deontay is referring to in part, that Tyson cheated. Now, I don't know if Tyson cheated or not. It don't matter, but the white privilege thing is where I'm upset about, or where I have a problem with. Now, Tyson Fury comes on and gives, in my personal opinion, a really good explanation, a really good appeal to friendship. He was very godly about it. He came on and said he's praying for Deontay Wilder, that Deontay is going through a lot, which is clearly is the case. Obviously, he's crying and he's frustrated. So shout out to Tyson Fury for being a man. We'll probably put the actual clip in post-production, but I really, Tyson Fury has always proclaimed to be a man of God. And I say quote because I don't really know all that he does, but he does say things that are godly, and he did say some really good things about Deontay. Let's go to the LeSean McCoy, and then we're going to get to the Jorge interview because you don't want to miss the Jorge interview. So if you're still hanging on, give me a few minutes to bring this point home about LeSean McCoy and this fake racism stuff these guys are pushing. And then we're going to get to Jorge and that interview, all right? But let's roll this clip with
They
LeSean.
don't want a whole bunch of black head coaches. You know why? Because it takes the power away from some of them positions. Back in the day, the most important position is quarterback, like it is now. The difference is now, it was no black quarterbacks, and they always talk bad about them. Oh, they run, they can't win with them. And now, the best players is the ones running around. So now you have way more black quarterbacks, right? So now we take a lot of that power away. You be damned if you're going to have some black owners and take a lot of power. Cool. You're not going to get no head coaches that's going to take power. So now it's like they don't want some of the black players to get some of that power. So, because we already lost the quarterback battle. We already lost that battle. So now we can't lose the head coach battle either.
You're not going to lose the head coach battle.
See, here's the thing. Obviously, that conversation continued. I don't have the time to go through the whole conversation. I'm so sick of black people being victims. At what point are you going to stop blaming the white man and being a victim? The NFL has evolved. That's not primarily because they hate black people. It's that the athleticism, the way they run plays, all of that is starting to change. The game is getting faster and faster and faster. There's no fullbacks in the game, no traditional fullbacks in the game anymore. They're not hardly ever running power I. They got tight ends now that can run and can block and can catch and can do reverses and throw the ball and everything. They got tight ends right now that are tremendous athletes, when before tight ends were mostly blocking. The game is changing. When Jim Brown was playing, he was bigger than the offensive lineman, and he weighed 230 pounds. The game is changing. They got offensive tackles at 6'8", 360. The game is changing, and it's not because the white man afraid of the black man. It's because as the game speed up, the game changed. Athleticism at the quarterback position, it becomes more of a strategy. If anybody remember football, they didn't run the option play in the NFL. Nobody ever ran the power option. Nobody ever ran the flicker option. I can forget what it's called. It's still an option play, but you pitch the ball to somebody. They didn't run it in the NFL. It was only a college thing. Read option and all that. That wasn't in the NFL. It's evolving. And if you want to go to the race thing, who's the most prolific quarterback or the most accomplished quarterback in the NFL in NFL history? Tom Brady. That dude run like he got 3 left legs. So it's still the most prominent quarterbacks are not the running quarterbacks. I mean, look at Brett Favre. Brett Favre was mobile, but he's not a running quarterback. Who else? Who else was pretty good? Peyton Manning. Eli Manning was pretty good. He won a couple Super Bowls. So this whole black and white thing is a moot point. Josh Allen is probably one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL right now. What's his name? I know his name slipped my mind now. He played for the Packers. Somebody help me on it. I said Rodgers. I want to say Marcus Rodgers, but it's definitely not Marcus Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. I don't know why I want to say Marcus Rodgers or something. Maybe because it's Black History Month. Aaron Rodgers is a mobile quarterback, one of the best. Josh Allen, mobile quarterback, one of the best. A lot of these guys that are playing right now are pretty mobile. And I would argue that some of these white quarterbacks are way more mobile than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes in a season probably scored like 2 touchdowns running the ball. They're equating mobility with black and lack of mobility with white quarterbacks. I don't know why LeSean is saying these things. They just always got to make it about race. And when you think about coaching, any black player right now as we speak, were you thinking about coaching or thinking about playing? I'm being honest. When we were in high school, we weren't thinking about coaching. We didn't want to coach. We want to play. And then we try to play, and we try to play until we can't move no more. And then we going and selling insurance or something because we're done with football. Most guys who play the game don't really focus on the coaching aspect of it. It's really the guys who weren't good enough to go to college, they go down the pipeline of coaching. And just so happen more black players are playing and more white players are not playing, so they're coaching. It has nothing to do with power dynamics. The Steelers head coach was one of the most prolific coaches. When I say prolific, meaning he was there on a franchise the longest out of Dane than any coach in the NFL history. And he had a 500 record. I don't think Tomlin ever won a Super Bowl. He may have won one. Mike Tomlin won one Super Bowl, maybe. I got to do my research. I think he only won one. But Mike Tomlin's in the NFL forever. He just decided to retire this year. And you look at the black coaches, they weren't doing very well. The ones who lost their jobs. I mean, Herm Edwards won a championship. So some of these other black coaches have done a pretty good job. But if you're not winning, they can't just put you in a position because you're black. All right, I just wanted to get that out of my chest, man. I'm so sick of this whole thing about black, white. Because to be honest, when you're on a team, man, you're not thinking about that. You should be kissing a white boy's butt because they didn't want blocking for you to get 2,000 yards rushing in the season. So if you want to make it about race, and the reason why offensive linemen are white and defensive linemen are black, because black people are typically more athletic. That's just the way it is, man. That's through slavery and all of the stuff we did. or all the stuff they did to us, they created us to be superhumans in some capacity. And that's why black people tend to be on the athletic side. Mike Tomlin won 2 championships. Out of how many years was Mike Tomlin in the league? He had to be in the league for 20-some years. We're going to look it up real quick. And before we get to Jorge, I wanted to show a post that Donald Trump is getting destroyed over. I think we'll have that here in a second. But how many years was Mike Tomlin? 19 seasons. In the league, 19 seasons, 2 championships, and probably had a 500 record. So I don't want to hear that race stuff. All right, we're going to get to Jorge's interview here in a second, but I had to talk about this topic with Donald Trump because people are like going crazy about this, and it's just sheer stupidity. Roll the clip.
Heard that favored Joe Biden.
So y'all already know what the problem is in this video. Is that somebody made a meme. Do we have that full meme? That meme video? Okay, somebody made a meme, and just so happened Barack Obama and Michelle Obama were monkeys in the meme. Now, only dumb, retarded Negroes are still crying about black people being associated with monkeys. It made me so sick to my stomach about this stuff. Y'all, I don't know why y'all taking the bait. Somebody say, you a monkey. I'm a monkey. Black people are called monkeys. Man, we don't look nothing like no monkeys. And ain't nobody thinking about monkeys when I'm thinking about black people. But when you look at the graphic, everybody's animals in this thing. And let me pause it. Before we go any further, this does not appear that Donald Trump made the clip. And it appeared that they screen recorded something that Trump wanted, and that flashed in the screen recording. Happened to be like the next meme. But you know they want to do this so they can make Trump look bad. But we'll finish the video. They got Hillary as a pig. These 2 fools are donkeys. Hold on, time out. If you go back a little bit, Pritzker, they may say you fat shaming him because he's an elephant. But ain't nobody else gonna get mad except black people. I'm telling you. Nobody gonna get mad and get in their feelings except black people. Finish the clip. Some of these animals are pretty. All right, look. Pause it. You got Joe Biden is a chimpanzee or whatever that animal is. What kind of monkey is that? I don't know what kind of monkey that is. They different monkeys. But he a monkey with a banana in his mouth. It looked like Michelle Obama and them were gorillas. This looked more like a little chimpanzee, a bamboo, eating a banana. But the white man ain't got nothing to say about it. Nobody cares about it. Y'all, they just get crazy because Obama and them were monkeys. But they don't care that Biden is a monkey. And Slowpoke knee pad Harris is a turtle. Finish the clip. Does it got a little sound to it?
Sleeps tonight in the jungle.
Look at Whoopi. Now, I just want to throw that out there because a lot of people are sending me this message. Is this real? Did Donald Trump really do this? Man, I liked him, but this is too much, man. Shut the front door. Who cares, man? Are you handling the business for the country or not? Are you doing the right thing by our country? Are you doing what we asked you to, what we voted for you to do? Then if you're doing that, then it's fine. Everything else don't matter. It don't matter. I don't want to hear Sugar Hunter iced tea about Donald Trump when these Democrats are ruining the country. They literally got blockades blocking the road off, doing checkpoints. And y'all sorry mother freakers aren't saying nothing about it. I'm going home. I'm finna have me some verdict after this. All right. I think that's it. I want to touch on that. I thought we had a couple more clips before the interview.
Brandon, did you want to roll into the some of the ICE stuff in Minneapolis?
Well, I was going to do that, but
we're pretty heavy right now. We can maybe we show a couple of the people.
Well, let's just go. We'll just go with the interview. So just so you guys can have can see the interview with me and Jorge Ventura. Hopefully I didn't call him Jesse Ventura this time. Jorge Ventura, it was a great interview. You guys going to love it. Put your seatbelt on. It's crazy stuff that we talk about. And it's going to be one of those interviews where you watch it and then you can't stop watching it. You're not going to take a break, not 1 minute or second of this interview. I promise you. You're going to be on the edge of your seat. So without further ado, let's roll the interview. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a in-studio interview. I know you guys are going to be tremendously excited. This young man, I've already interviewed. We did it through Skype, but now he's here in the flesh. Help me welcome to the show, Jorge Ventura.
Brandon, brother, thank you for having me on. And I just came back 18 straight days in Minneapolis, breaking news, on-the-ground coverage, and really actually driving the narrative also on X and beating corporate mainstream media to the story. So feels good to be back in Arizona, seeing some sun. Just survived negative 30. Us Latinos not made for that weather.
Yeah, you're out here thawing out now. Yeah. But yeah, man, you've been doing a tremendous work. Like you said, the thing that I noticed the most is that you're doing more than the mainstream media that's backed by billions of dollars, and they're not on the streets, showing the world what's really going on. Either side, whether it's conservative or liberal, none of them are doing this. And so because of your journalism, we're able to see how insane these people are on the ground. And give us a glimpse, because you had an extended stay since we interviewed in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and you have more crazy stuff to tell us, man. You got assaulted out there. I mean, all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, so right now, basically, I spent 18 days down there, a lot of new developments. The day that I was supposed to leave is when the Alex Pretty shooting happened. So I ended up staying. We got to cover the riots that followed right after. But so far, I would say, like, my biggest takeaway, and I've reported on protests, riots, left-wing violence all over the country. Minneapolis is at a completely different level when it comes to the organization, the signal chats, databases. I was completely blown away by it. In Portland, you mostly have the activists who are in this world, where in Minneapolis, like, the public and your everyday American feels like they're involved in the fight. So when you're there, people do view ICE as like Gestapo, and it's 90% white liberals who feel like this is their moment to stand up to a Nazi regime that's like kidnapping. This is their language, kidnapping their like Somalian brothers or sisters. So they do feel that they're in this fight for the long haul. We've been able to find out a little bit more about like these networks that are funding some of these activists, like Defense 612, which Renee Nicole Good, finding out she was actually a member of. So this whole thing that she was just like a peaceful protester, peaceful community member, that is no longer true. Like, she was being trained to actively impede federal investigations, but just really leaving with a sense of not knowing what's next, because it seems like ICE and federal agents have the whole city and state against them, from local law enforcement as well, and they really only have the backing of Holman and the Trump administration. And even on the ground, on my last day, I was assaulted by some Antifa activists, and also went on an ICE in-bed ride-along where we find out that these activists are successfully impeding operations every single day, even after Holman arrived. So I think Minneapolis right now could be a battleground that if the Trump administration doesn't play it right, they could lose, and then we could maybe see deportations start to decrease. It's still a long way to tell right now.
That's crazy, man. It's crazy that in an American city, we have people who are actively impeding federal law enforcement that's been approved by Congress, meaning the laws have been approved by Congress. We voted for those laws. The laws are on the books. They didn't change the law.
Right.
But these people are saying, I don't agree with the law, so I'm going to thwart the law. That's just like us saying, you know what? I don't feel like I should pay those taxes. So let me go protest at the Treasury. Let me go and blockade streets so the people that work in the Treasury or anybody associated with taking taxes are being doxxed, and like that. That'll be asinine. To me, it'll make more sense than what they're doing with ICE, because I think taxation is out of control. But it's crazy. We got a couple videos that I want to show the audience, and we can watch together. I think this is the one where these protesters are actively trying to impede the operations of ICE, and this is one of the clips here. Roll it. Now, Joe, can you cut the audio? And Jorge, can you explain what we're looking at?
So this what we're looking at right now, Brandon. This is in South Minneapolis. This is what I learned was called a filter blockade. So you have these left-wing activists who now are setting up makeshift checkpoints. This is in the middle of an intersection, in the middle of the day. I know it looks absurd, but this is real. And you can see kind of like the makeshift kind of trash that they make making this checkpoint, having all their faces covered. All of them actually had walkie-talkies. And what I learned is this filter blockade is meant to keep ICE out of their community. So what they'll do is they'll stop every vehicle, they'll check for ID, and they're running a license plate in a database. So when I arrive at the scene, that blockade was already up for more than 24 hours, and local law enforcement didn't dismantle it. This is kind of a funny interaction here, Brandon, where you're going to have a white progressive start to question my Somali Uber driver and accuse him of being an ICE agent.
Play the sound.
Hey, how's it going?
You said his license plates are ICE?
Doing good, yeah. I was just saying, it looks like in our system, your plates came up as an ICE plate. That doesn't seem like it's the case, but I just wanted to come through and see what was up and talk to you, see how you were doing.
Of course.
Okay, I figured, yeah.
I mean, he's clearly Somali.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, glad to hear it. What's your name? Ali? Ali, nice.
How long have you guys been out here today?
Look at that weirdo.
Are we good though?
Yeah, we're good.
I do want to ask, what's the system you guys are using out here? I mean, because it's obvious that was wrong, right? I mean, the guy was just a Somali Uber driver, not ICE.
Well, the thing is, ICE, they're renting a lot of cars, but yeah, we'll take this off the list.
So what they have is a makeshift list. Clearly, they don't have access to an actual database. So somebody observe ICE, they trail them, whatever, they write the license plates down, and then they walkie-talkie it, and they look on a piece of paper and say, oh, that's an ICE person. I mean, obviously, this person wasn't on their list. They just didn't recognize the license plate, and they pulled them over or like stopped them or something. I don't know what they call it.
Yeah, that's right. And then actually moments after that, Brandon, what kind of started this, the interaction where they actually moved into assault me was down the road. The activists were actually successfully turning around vehicles that did look like ICE vehicles. And that's what caught my attention, because they were sedans with the all-black tinting. So when they started to turn them around, that's when I was shooting the film. That's when the individuals start to move in, start to assault me, shove me. Then they start to move in to steal my camera and to not publish that video. And I wanted it to add, because I know this looks absurd. About an hour later, I then get an exclusive right along with ICE in Minneapolis, where they're going to move in to arrest a criminal legal alien who re-entered the country again illegally under the Biden administration. So this is a felony re-entry. Those same activists that you just saw in those videos and those blockades were able to track down the license plates of those ICE agents, dox their location and their operation, and they couldn't move in to make an arrest. And I wanted to highlight that really quickly, Brandon, because some of these videos, these activists, they do look silly and they look childish. And I mean, they're white liberals. Some of these guys are like weighing 100 pounds. We could pick them up, throw them around,
Yeah.
But that these activists are actually having real impact on real operations from getting criminals out of the community. I don't know if Brandon, if your producers could just play this soundbite from this ICE agent directly.
Just from the reporter perspective, I've been taken aback by the organization of a lot of the protesters and agitators, activists who are impeding on your operations. Talk to me about some of the challenges of what you and your agents are seeing when it comes to dealing with activists while also trying to make these targeted arrests.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything like this in the 20 years that I've been working out of this, this area. the agitators are out, and again, they're not protesters. They're not peaceful protesters. They're out there actually trying to impede our operations. It's not going to stop us from doing it. What it does, it just makes us kind of change our tactics a little bit. So what we're doing is, we're creating teams that are a little bit bigger, so we can deal with some of the agitators that come. But we're still going to continue to focus on enforcing the immigration law. But what it does do, it just makes our officers have to kind of move their focus solely away from the target we're looking for, which most of these targets we're looking for have significant criminal histories. And so now it adds another layer of, complexity on it, because now our officers not only have to worry about, maybe the target we're going after assaulting or fighting us, but now the public is coming out to do it. And we're not just seeing the public standing around watching what we're doing. We welcome that. I always welcome that. We've had people filming us for years now, as long as they do it and let us do our job, right? I think that if people have an issue with what we're doing, trying to solve that in the field, it's not the spot to do it. We need to be out here and, let us do our job to do it. And then if there's issues, again, I think that focus needs to be brought elsewhere, not on the officers sworn to enforce the law.
Which is, how are they getting away with this, man? This gotta be criminal. Let's go back to the clip that
See, that's
shows,
where I'm at, Brandon, because these are federal investigations.
Yeah.
And these signal groups, they're doxing their information. They're getting shared all over. I got one source who, I guess, now my photo is getting leaked in all these groups to watch out. I don't understand how this is happening at this level. We need the Insurrection Act or something. Like, Trump needs to come down with the hammer now.
Right, and we're going to get to it, because this is where you get assaulted at. I want to go, this would be a good clip. Play the clip, and this is where you ended up getting assaulted, but I think I got something I want to say in it, because we got to talk about the hypocrisy here. Roll the clip.
Here in South Minneapolis, we just actually spoke to some of the individuals, if you want to just check out here, wearing the kind of black cloth covering their faces.
This is the craziest sugar honey iced tea I've seen. These people are literally protesting ICE by being little ICE agents. They are blockading the road. They're creating borders, and they're checking people's identification and turning them away from the community if they so choose. The very thing, and they're racially profiling. Your guy was the Uber driver was Somali, and they go, "Oh, he's good."
Yeah.
Well. You're basing it off his race? What if he, just because he's Somali, it means he's automatically good? Like, what?
And this is fascism. Everything that they protest against, this is actually impeding fascism. This is also one of the greatest signs. This is what they say. This is one of the greatest signs of privilege, to be able to break the law, literally stopping vehicles. One of the moments that caught me off guard too, Brandon, was there was this innocent mom and her daughter. They look frightened when you have these random men who have their faces covered up, asking them for IDs, running their license plate, also blocking their movement. It's intimidating, and for local law enforcement to not step in there, it's embarrassing. I'm just glad that this is getting out there. But once again, just even this shot alone, Brandon, is absurd to have this intersection controlled by these activists. All of them have walkie-talkies. If you notice, they all have walkie-talkies. All of them repeating these license plates to whatever makeshift database signal chats that they have.
It's crazy, because these are so many laws being broken at one time locally. This is not just federal law. Impeding federal agents is federal law, but obstructing an intersection is against the law. And local PD should shut it down for the sake of local PD. They're not shutting it down because of ICE. They're shutting it down because this is illegal. If anyone else decided to go and do this, they would go to jail.
Exactly.
If it wasn't under the guise of just say that conservatives were doing it.
Imagine if you and I try to do this right now in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh yeah, we'd go to jail and probably get beat up by the police.
And the issue here, Brandon, is in that operation where they can't move in to make an arrest, what people don't realize is by not getting that guy off the street, we could potentially run into another Lincoln Riley situation where that individual then murders an American citizen. That's why this is so important. Just to see white progressives defending these guys makes absolute I still can't wrap my mind around.
I can't wrap my mind around it either, because it's a bunch of just mentally ill individuals that are just doing nothing. That they're not accomplishing anything. That literally they're going to arrest. They can just talk to a Border Patrol ICE agent to say, who exactly are you guys going out? I'm pretty sure they can't show them a list because then they'll thwart it.
Right.
But I mean, if they were to follow up and say, you know, can you give us any information? Like, you know, as a journalist, can you give us any information on what just happened there? They're like, oh yeah, this guy was wanted for murder, guy was wanted for rape. Then they should be reasonably in a position to say, okay, maybe we need these people off the street. But they are flat out creating criminal behavior to protect. And these people don't even probably live in this neighborhood. They may not even live in this neighborhood, dude.
And we're watching people in real time get psyoped. I covered the Black Lives Matter riots, and like the images I never forget is when you have white liberal protesters screaming racial remarks at black police officers.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing the same thing where you have white progressive screaming racial remarks at like Latino ICE and Border Patrol agents. It's just the whole thing doesn't make any sense. Once again, these filter blockades are still up in South Minneapolis. We'll see if local law enforcement starts to move in, but just completely absurd. Even for like our Somali Uber driver, like, the guy was like fearful for his life because he doesn't know who these individuals are. They don't know if they were going to assault.
Just moments ago, down there, we have an Uber driver. He's from Somalia. He's clearly not ICE, and they said that in their database that vehicle was popping up as an ICE vehicle. So we were questioning them about this database that they're using. Obviously, there's some type of network or communication. According to them, local law enforcement hasn't even came in and stopped. So Eric, just kind of shoot some of this and check it out. They're on the phones. I guess they were checking the license plate. We heard in their walkie-talkie that the license plate that they ran is not ICE, but you can see they're on
see how they're all communicating walkie-talkie.
I want to find out a little bit more about the database, but they don't want to answer our question.
Yeah, it's weird, dude.
Just talk to me a little bit about this database, because we just ran our Somali Uber driver's license plate. I mean, you guys did run his license plate without his permission.
Dude, I know. I'm like, I know Brandon would love to be
They're
there.
so freaking weak.
No?
But look at that, Brandon. That's a definition of a coward. Yeah, look.
You can't.
Get in the car, man. So they're assaulting me and my photojournalist. Got it all on video. They actually tried to steal my phone, but unsuccessful.
But look how Brandon, look how big of cowards they are. Like, they want to mask up their faces, they want to like harass everyday American citizens. But the minute you have a camera and ask them a direct question, man to man, scared, running away.
You know, the crazy thing is that they're complaining that ICE has masks on, and yet they're wearing masks. They complain that ICE is going after innocent people that are citizens, and they're doing the same thing.
And if I could play the race card too. They're beating up a Latino.
Right.
Like they're stopping my freedom of movement, freedom of speech. But those right there, Brandon, I have no respect for any type of man like that. Like cowards can't even answer a question. All I have is a cell phone. Come on.
And also, they're violating your constitutional rights. You're on a public thoroughfare, right? And you have the right to freedom of press. You can go out and observe and document what you see. They can't stop you from doing that. If they impede on you doing that, that is a federal crime. I don't know. It's just like Don Lemon got in trouble because he runs into the church and he's
trying to make him a martyr.
He's obstructing. He's not just reporting. He's obstructing in the church. He was asked to leave by the pastor. He refused to leave. You are now a part of the criminal activity. And you're just going out reporting, not being violent, doing any of those things, and somehow they're forcing you, bludgeoning you, threatening you to not be able to exercise your right to freedom of press, freedom of expression. I don't understand how they're getting away with this stuff.
And also, Brandon, just like the media narrative, normally when a journalist gets attacked, everyone in media is supposed to have your back. CNN never reached out to me. MSNBC never reached out to me. The other side never reached out to me. It doesn't fit that narrative, while at the same time they're trying to make Don Lemon a martyr. But I think when like after this situation, we're just double down that we are not going anywhere. And the reason that they do that and they attack journalists, reporters, anyone that tries to just show the other side of the narrative is they want to even deter anyone from even showing up with a camera. And after that moment, we're like doubling down. We're like, we're even more motivated. We got a bigger chip on our shoulder. They just lit a bigger fire inside us. So we're not going anywhere. We're going to keep going, and relentless coverage out of Minneapolis continues.
Yeah, 100%. And this is where we need you guys to step in too. because we want to help you in doing that. Because it's us. It's not just you, Jorge. It's not just somebody else's. It's the American people need to know what's going on. They need to see this, and you're putting your neck out there for them. And I think we should all join together and support. We got the Venmo up here. I want you guys to check out the Venmo. It's Jorge-Ventura-2. We'll put a link in the description section, but go on and support. You know, like I was just thinking today, we went and bought some Starbucks. I'm like, I don't know how much that $14 probably with all the Starbucks we bought. Why can't somebody, instead of getting a Starbucks, say, look, we're going to give some money to Jorge because he's out here doing God's work. So if you guys are looking at that, scan the QR code or go to the link in the description section. And also, Jorge, if you ever need security, we'll take care of you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We're going to try to, put some funds together to take care of our journalists because it's invaluable. We would not know for a fact or in any real way what they're doing there if it wasn't for you showing this fool stopping somebody on the side of the road. And the questions that they're asking.
Yeah.
The public have no access to it. Fox wasn't there. CNN is not there.
CNN is not playing that clip.
No, they never play a clip. They act like that doesn't exist. Dude, this is so wrong. I like you brought up that double standard. Somehow, Don Lemon is a martyr, but yet they won't even talk about you getting assaulted. And really, the truth is, you were doing real journalism. He was committing a crime.
Yeah. He was being an activist.
Right.
And I just want to say really quick, Brandon, for your viewers, just thank you and to you and your wife for all the support. Just highlighting the work of us journalists on the ground, it's been a big help. So just want to say that, man, because a lot of people in this kind of game that we're in, they say hey, well, we have your back, but they really don't. But you guys really have had our back, and because of your support, we were able to stay there for a whole 18 days.
Wow.
I think we were even there longer than like corporate media journalists.
Yeah.
So and then that happened. I mean, kind of funny how things work out, but that blockade footage all happened on that last day. And I think that
they tried to do that blockade in the hood somewhere.
Please do this in South Central.
Yeah, please. I will, hey, do I have to? I'll fund some. I'll give you some pieces or something. Matter of fact, I'll help notify next of kin after they smoke y'all out there. You think do you think these people would do that in the hood? Like somebody driving through be like, man, you better get out my way before I shoot all of y'all.
They couldn't even do that in a Koreatown in LA, bro. They run them out of there quick.
No, they couldn't do that in South Phoenix. They mean, people. That's only acceptable in a privileged community where everybody's stuck on stupid. But the funny thing is, Jorge, is that the deployment of ICE and Border Patrol, obviously ICE and then the Border Patrol assisting them, because I see BORTAC guys out there and everything, is like going on in probably almost every state. But in Minneapolis, they're just being ridiculous. I don't understand how the world doesn't see that. Like, this is not going on everywhere as far as the ICE. How many people have ICE killed in Texas or Florida or New Mexico or even California? It's just like the two people I think that ICE has killed has been in the same city. That should, unless I'm wrong about that.
And the thing is with the Minneapolis operation is Border Patrol just finished a massive operation in New Orleans. And, you could think about what you want about New Orleans, but no one was impeding their operations. There wasn't like any activist group the way that we were seeing it in Minneapolis. And we're learning a lot more about Renee Nicole Good and Alex Perry. Like they're not I think when the first news came out, they were just kind of your everyday protester, American citizen. And we're finding out these guys were activists. They were being backed by signal groups, also being led by local officials in Minneapolis that were encouraging them to impede operations. So these local politicians knowingly are using their own voters, their own citizens, as like their foot soldiers, knowing that these folks are untrained, knowing that they're putting themselves in harm's way. And at the end of the day, like you are impeding a federal operation. I mean, I just don't know, like to me, right? That's the greatest sign of privilege to even think that you could just impede it and there's no consequences that are going to happen. Alex Perry's honestly lucky that he even get arrested on his first altercation when he broke that headlight. So we're finding more about these activist groups and how these individuals are not your just everyday, Renee Nicole, just everyday mom just drop off her kid and no, we're finding a lot
and
more.
I want to talk more about that because I think that's the narrative that's put out there. Reason why Hollywood, because these people are ignorant and stupid anyway. I think they got so much money they become stupid. This is the reason why Hollywood, in my opinion, are so confused about what's going on. Because I guarantee if you ask any of these people, who's Renee Good, they would tell you they don't even factor in, or they probably have no idea she hit somebody with a car.
Right.
They only thing they hear is that Renee Good was dropping off her kids and she ends up getting shot like driving through one of these ICE things, which clearly did not happen. This woman was a seasoned, paid activist who had every intention to coordinate a blockade to block ICE agents from crossing the street. And she was doing, like, her job was to chase these people down.
Yep. Track down, dox their movements. Yeah, this whole narrative is getting absolutely destroyed. And once again, I don't know if it's people just being psyop, but why are these white liberals wanting to die for criminal legal aliens right now? I'll never understand it. Maybe that's my next documentary. I will never understand it. Like, please stop dying for Jose's and I'm saying as a Jorge. Stop doing it, bro. It's ridiculous. Because our people aren't out there. You don't see Somalians out there. I'm just saying, stop.
You don't. Like it's funny thing is that it's the craziest conundrum that I've ever seen. These white liberals are complaining that ICE is targeting black and brown people, yet they're the only ones getting killed. Like, what are we even saying here? Like, I don't know if it's the mental illness that, like, some people are susceptible to brainwashing and manipulation because they suffer from a personality disorder or mental illness. You gotta be completely mentally ill that you playing games with your life like that. Like, I think the wife or whatever yelled after Renee got shot, "You use real bullets." It's like, this is real. This is not a game. These people are out here actually arresting dangerous people. You see all that tech gear that they got on? They not put that gear on for you. They put that gear on because they're going and arresting very dangerous people who are armed. And if y'all keep playing around, you're gonna get killed. Just like Dum Dum Purdy. The guy literally, I think that was his third interaction with them when he got killed. Because allegedly he had another altercation where he broke his rib, where he had a rib broken.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
And then, not unless he claimed that his ribs were broken in this one, but then he has this one where he kicked the license plate, not the license, but the tail light out and spit at the guy. If he didn't shut the door, he just spit on him, which is a crime. And people may not know that.
Yeah.
That in Arizona, that's aggravated assault if you spit or try to deface somebody's uniform, like a police officer in uniform. And so he did that. He's doing all that. He was fighting with them then with a gun on him. He had his gun on him then. And maybe they either avoided it or they didn't see it. But you have to be the most ridiculous person in the world to think you're going to engage in a physical altercation with a Border Patrol, ICE agent, or any law enforcement officer with a firearm on you. And it's crazy to me.
And he didn't get arrested that day. Like, Alex, you have the greatest privilege